How many people here like chocolate chip cookies?
I do.
How many people actually know where chocolate chip cookies came from?
I do.
My name's Jackie Waiters, and I am basically a college student and an avid fan of chocolate chip cookies. I came here today basically to give you a little history on chocolate chip cookies and to show you how simple they are to make and why I love them. Chocolate chip cookies originated in Whiteman, Massachusetts in 1939. Nanette Richford, wrote an article called Invented by Mistake in 2007 that said they originated in places called toll houses where people went basically to stay overnight, eat hot meals, pay their tolls for using the roads, and change horses. And the toll house that the chocolate chip cookies actually originated in was called the Toll House Inn, and it was owned by Kenneth and Ruth Wakefield. Ruth Wakefield was actually the inventor of chocolate chip cookies, totally by mistake. Mary Bellis wrote an article called The History of Chocolate Chip Cookies in 2007 that says that Ruth Wakefield was actually a dietitian and a lady that ran around Massachusetts and lectured on different foods that she thought people would be interested in. She graduated from Framingham School of Household Arts in 1924, like a lot of other ladies in that era. They went to school for different things that had to do with the home. Ruth Wakefield actually served the meals at the toll house, and for these meals she became really locally known, and she became so locally known that she became friends with Andrew Nestle of Nestle Chocolate. And I read an article that Kitchen Project wrote in 2006 on the history of chocolate chips that says that Ruth Wakefield used to receive chocolate gifts from Andrew Nestle all the time. Back to how they originated by accident. Ruth Wakefield was actually in the inn cooking up a batch of butter dough drop cookies, and she ran out of baker's chocolate. When she ran out of baker's chocolate, she grabbed the nearest thing, which was actually a semi-sweet chocolate bar that Andrew Nestle had given her. She chopped it up into little bitty pieces and threw it in the recipe. She thought that it would melt. It didn't melt. It held shape. And when it held shape, it became basically chocolate chip cookies. It just softened, and it didn't turn the whole thing into chocolate. These cookies ended up becoming really popular at the end, and they became so popular that a Boston newspaper published it in there, and she named them chocolate chip crunch cookies to start, and they put her recipe on the back of the chocolate bar and gave her a lifetime supply of chocolate just to use this recipe. In 1939, she partnered with Nestle and made the morsel, the little kiss that we know as chocolate chips nowadays, because they're much easier than chopping up a chocolate bar every time you want to make chocolate chip cookies. Kitchen Project article in 2006 also stated that chocolate chip cookies are basically the most popular in America. To give you a couple fun facts, 7 billion chocolate chip cookies are eaten yearly. The Toll House makes 33,000 chocolate chip cookies a day just to sustain how many chocolate chip cookies Americans eat every day. 50% of cookies baked in American homes are chocolate chip cookies, and it's the official cookie of Massachusetts, where it was born. Along with all the great facts in the history of chocolate chip cookies that I gave you today, I'd like to show you how fast and easy it is to actually mix up a quick batch of chocolate chip cookies, and it's an easy, fast treat. It has very basic ingredients such as flour, sugar, eggs, that kind of thing, and it's usually 5-minute prep time. First, I preheat the oven to 375, and I basically start mixing. I got my flour, two and a half cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt in this bowl, which I've already done to save us some time. In this bowl, I've got 1 cup of butter, 3/4 cup of regular sugar, 3/4 cup of brown sugar, my vanilla, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and my 2 eggs, and I've mixed it up until it's creamy. And now I'm going to mix these two together. Mix these two together, the dry ingredients and the moist ingredients. I'm almost done already. After mixing up the dry ingredients and the moist ingredients, all we have to do from there is to go ahead and throw in our chocolate chips. We throw in our whole bag. It's already pre-measured. It's already pre-measured from the original recipe of Ruth Wakefield's. It's still on the back of the bag. And a cup of nuts. 1 cup of nuts, and it's done. After we've mixed this up, we're going to get out an ungreased cookie sheet, and we are basically going to drop little droplets, little spoonfuls of this mixture onto a cookie sheet. And after dropping them onto the cookie sheet in little bitty spoonfuls, about this size, we're going to put them in the oven for 9 to 11 minutes, and after 9 to 11 minutes, you let them cool, and you end up with this, a fast and easy chocolate chip cookie dessert in probably 15 to 20 minutes. I wanted to give you the history on chocolate chip cookies, basically to show that all things have beginnings, even things that we don't think of on a day-to-day basis. They have beginnings. Some have good stories. Ruth Wakefield's mistake of running out of baker's chocolate ended up creating an 80-year-old chocolate chip cookie, an 80-year-old a cookie that's has been popular for 80 years. And people love chocolate. They love convenience, and the combination has made America's favorite cookies. I'd like to basically thank you guys for letting me share what I've learned about Ruth Wakefield and the history of chocolate chip cookies and my love for chocolate chip cookies and sweets all together. And if you guys would like, you can come up and try one. Thank you guys.